I want to help you pull bright, bold, highly contrasted Suminagashi prints. And this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to share with you the top 5 papers that I love, that I always use, that get me these types of results. Now, you will have to go back and probably check out step 3, I think session 3 on my alternative Suminagashi techniques, because that kind of sums up how I treat these papers with alum wash first off. But there are certain papers that really take it to the next level. You're not going to want to dive for the copy papers that are going to give you this kind of wah-wah kind of print that is lackluster, not contrasted, and you can just see where the ink is just kind of running off the page. Very disappointing and not fun. Again, if you go back and add alum wash to that same type of copy paper, you'll get a little bit better pull. There's no doubt in that. This is one that's been treated, but it's still not that crisp and kind of intense, bold absorption that you're going to get from these other 5 papers I recommend. So today I'm going to share with you my top 5. One of them includes a new one that I'm trying that I'm really excited about and has a lot of potential, so check it out.
But before we go there, I just want to step outside with you and take a deep breath. We've had such lovely weather, and I just wanted to show you a little bit around where I take my walks. And if you were here, we'd take one too. I like to spend my mornings out here if I get a chance. This morning I found a few oak galls, and I'll probably take them back to make some ink. But here we are together. I'm happy to show you, let's get going, about coffee filters. So if you're just joining me for the first time, you'll notice that the water is super dirty and I'm using colored inks, and it doesn't seem like traditional Suminagashi. So I'll just say it's not. I'm using high flow acrylic paints, calligraphy inks, and I basically never change the water, or I change it as less frequently as possible. There does become a point where I have to change it, but mostly I like it getting kind of dirty so the inks just kind of float on there. I will call it Suminagashi because it is just water and these inks. There isn't an additive in the water at all. So just to clarify, I'm not using marbling inks. These are simply acrylic inks and high flow acrylic paints. And these coffee filters that come in all different sizes make a great material to absorb these inks with. I've been having a lot of fun with the unbleached filters. I know that there's stark white ones you can buy, although I can't seem to get my hands on them here in Italy for some reason. They like the unbleached ones. But I really enjoy them too because they take this kind of intense color that I'm using and soften it a bit, make it a little bit earthy like I like it, and it's just kind of fun for me to combine it with my collage pieces that way. It goes more with the color schemes that I like, and I just kind of prefer them using these natural unbleached filters. So here they are, they've been dried, and I just think they're incredible. Like, I wish I could find a way to not rip them up, but I kind of want to rip them up in my art. I don't know. And I've found a way to keep them as a project as well, like by turning them into these resin lamps, which I did a little course on. You can check that out as well. But it really would be my dream paper to make coffee paper, filter paper, like big sheets of it. I think it would be incredible. And speaking of incredible, I'm so excited to try this new paper by Jane Montieth. She has actually achieved what I consider an artist's dream, which is making your own paper and marketing your own paper. I think it's amazing. Like, my dream paper would be a coffee filter paper. She'd made a tea bag paper, and it's perfect for cyanotypes, mixed media, acrylic inks, natural inks. And today I'm going to try it on Suminagashi. But again, it's like this tea bag paper that you would use for loose teas. It's incredibly durable and strong, and it comes in these very long sheets of about 8 feet by 1 foot, and it's kind of transparent, opaque. It's just going to have so many possibilities. I love transparent layers and translucent layers, so I'm going to see what this does. I'm also going to cut up a few extra sheets and see how they react in a tea bath. I like to use tea dyed and different natural dyes to stain my papers before I do Suminagashi, because I like those kind of natural fibers poking out underneath. And then I'm going to treat some as well with my alum wash, both the white paper and the tea dyed papers. Let these sit for a day and see how it goes. And now a word from our sponsors, Two Black Cats. Now I'm just joking with you. I know, total cringe, right? But I had just been playing with these AI images of my two black cats, which are actually real black cats that love to sleep in my studio on my Suminagashi. I don't know, they have to stay there. So anyway, I recommend getting two black cats. Okay, so the water is pretty dirty, like I like it. It almost has a kind of a marbling effect where the inks are just floating on the top and it's kind of grungy underneath, but it seems to work for me. And I'm just gonna try out Jane's awesome paper here. I can't wait to see how it's gonna work. I've got the tea stained one here, and let's see, it seems like it's absorbing pretty nicely. And wow, yeah, it really does absorb nicely. Like I'm loving that corally pink popping through. I'm gonna give it another shot here. I like to just start by letting the pink go down. I don't know, I have this thing about getting the pink down first for some reason right now. I'm into that hot pink color and just dropping it in. When the water is so dirty like that too, it just kind of breaks it up in these uneven, strange breaks that I like. And then of course that turquoise blue and the black, and seeing how this all goes, it's just always such a surprise. And I love pulling it out and seeing those dark contrasts, but yet kind of soft and subtle. Reminds me of some other papers that I work with, much like a Japanese rice paper, or of course, even tea bags or tea filters that I have in my own home. It's just really strong. So I'm going to use an untea dyed, so this has no tea dye. This is just the straight paper with the alum wash, and it has that great intense color. I'll be going over these and showing you the results here in a second. Because you really want to look at them when they're dry. Again, another tea stained one. We'll pull that out and we'll take a look at them here when they're dried. So it's been a few hours and they dried pretty quickly, and I'm loving the results here. I love these tea stained ones, the vivid colors, yet it's got a little bit of a neutral kick to it. Yet these ones that haven't been tea stained are pretty fabulous too. They're just like knocking it out of the park with the colors. This is one of my favorites. I love the pattern on it. But again, the non-tea stained is pretty cool too. And remember, you're always going to need that alum wash to get those vivid pulls. This one doesn't have it, but it's still lovely. And all these papers with the alum wash just look fantastic. If you can't find Jane Montieth's tea bag paper online, you can search for just regular tea filters, the type you would use to put your loose teas in, your green tea in, and I've been using them and finding them pretty fun to work with as well. I normally dye them first in tea or avocado dyes. I love doing that, but I find them just super fun and just so absorbent. Like, unfortunately, I only have two examples here today of the tea bag ones because I tend to use them a lot and I didn't have any extra samples. But these are tea filters that I tea stained. And again, just using the inks with. They're a little less durable than the tea bag paper of Jane's, but they're still strong enough. You do want to be a little bit more careful with them. They're a little bit more delicate. I would say the Jane Montieth paper is stronger and hardier, just can soak up stuff, but these are just super fun to play with as well. These ones were dyed with black beans and it turned them kind of blue, and I just did a bunch of them this spring. Here's a funny picture of me trying to do one of those YouTube thumbnail portraits. Did not turn out, but you know, dorky me. Anyway, you can see my papers here. Which brings me to tissue paper, one of my favorite papers to work with. I love it. It's that type of paper that you pull out of your shoe box when you get a new shoe, or you might wrap a present with it or stick it in a gift box or something. It's got kind of a shinier side than the other, so you have to be careful. And I tend to alum wash and print with the more matte side. And so always pay attention because these papers can oftentimes have a shinier side to them, and tissue is one of these. But I love tea dyeing them, and just these results, here they are dried. I think I used avocado dyes and tea dyes with these, and they just, I don't know, I love these earthy colors. The turquoise is still vibrant, but it's got another little edge to it, a little vintagey kind of look. Oh, I just love them and think they should be framed on their own. I don't think they should even be ripped up. I don't think I will. So I did tea dye some rice paper. Unfortunately, I don't know why I didn't tape myself pull in some of those prints, but I did clean the water for this one. I wanted to just see Japanese rice paper on a clean Suminagashi type of situation where the water was really clean and see how this traditional paper absorbs the inks. And it, of course, absorbs it quite nicely. This is a little different because in normal Suminagashi, you're not going to use an alum wash, but this one does have it. And they're just super bright. Looking at them, here's the tea-dyed ones. They're a little lackluster, but I still like them. They've got the blacks are super crisp, and I do love that. They didn't bleed at all. Some of them are a little bit more faint. The non-dyed ones, these don't have any tea stain, but they're very strong and sturdy. And I don't know, just they pulled out of the water really easily. This one is just lovely, just so vivid and vibrant. And of course, this is the traditional paper that one would use for Suminagashi. It is sturdier than the tissue paper, and I just love it. Here's just a final look at some of the papers we pulled today. I love the earthier tones and the tea bags. I just think they're fantastic and they have so much potential. I kind of hate to rip some of them up, and probably, like I said, I won't. I'll just keep them and admire them for a while. But thanks again for joining me today, and I hope you got something out of it. I'm going to just take you outside for a second. We had a lovely sunset yesterday evening. I was like, I'll just throw this in here too. Why not? Everyone needs a good sunset. And if you were here, we'd go on a walk and go have some tea and do some Suminagashi together. But since you're not, I'm sending you this vivid, no filter, beautiful view from outside my window and wishing you all a great art making day. See you again soon.